Right, hello again. Today we're going to tie this dog biscuit fly. It's a carp fly. Like I've just said, it's an imitation dog biscuit. I've caught loads and loads of carp on this fly. It's great fun fishing. As you well know, fly fishing isn't just for game fish. You can catch pretty much any fish on a fly. And fly fishing for carp, if you haven't done it, just get out there and try it, because they really pull back on a fly rod. It's brilliant. So let's start by popping a hook in the vise. This is a size 8 curved shank style hook. It's a good strong hook, won't let you down. We're just gonna put a little bit of varnish on the back of the shank, just to these flies do go through a hell of a lot, so anything you can do to secure the thread properly, then do it. Super glue or varnish is fine. And we're going to come back till I'm sort of opposite where the barb starts. You can see, I don't know, it's just in there, but that's pretty much where that barb starts. And we're basically going to spin the first lot of deer hair on here, and then I'm going to keep the rest of it on top. So I'm going to take some deer hair. The thread, by the way, is Danville's 210 flat waxed. I'm going to take a bit of deer hair. So I'm just kind of try and do this so you can see. I'm just trying to put in my scissors in the deer hair, taking a clump out the side and then grabbing that with my fingers and cutting it right at the skin, right low down. It just makes it easier for when you get your next bit. If you cut, as you can see, I've cut this right next to that skin. Now I'm going to hold the tips and I'm going to get out all the short hairs and any fluff. So I'm just sort of running my fingers through like that. Get it all out. There's no need to stack this. You can just pop it on as it is, because it's going to be cut so much. There really is no need to stack. So I'm going to place the deer hair on the back of the shank. I'm going to come round with the thread once. Whoops. Twice. Let's just do that again. I'm going to come round once. Twice. I always come around 3 times, and then I just pull and allow that deer hair to spin, and then I come through the hair a couple of times. Get your dubbing needle and just sort everything out and just have a little look. Yep, that's fine. Just going to work forward through the hair, and then I'm going to push everything back and come round. This is a very messy fly to tie. So now I'm going to take another piece of deer hair, a bigger clump this time. Again, snipped it from the hide, pulling out all the rubbish. You get some like underfur and stuff in deer hair, so you want to get rid of that really. Just makes your life easier. Place it, you see I'm sweeping the first lot of hair back. I'm placing this on the top, holding it with my left, come around 1, 2, and now I'm going to keep this on the top of the shank. So I'm going to hold it with my left hand and I'm not going to let it spin. I'm going to try not to let it spin. We're going to come through with the thread. This is why I'm using 210, because it's strong. And then sweep everything back. Come around to the front, and now I take a hair sort of stacker, a hair pusher, and I'm just going to push this all back, holding it with my left index finger so it can't slip anywhere, and I'm just going to squeeze that hair stacker, squeeze all that hair up, and you can see where the thread's there, you can see how much I've pushed that back. Now I'm going to take the thread back to that point, and we're just going to repeat this process until we've got enough hair on the hook. So we're gonna snip from the hide. Obviously I'm taking out all these short horrible bits over the bin because, well, you know, this fly is messy enough to tie as it is. We don't really want to make too much mess. Sweep the hair back, put the next stack on top, come around 1, 2, 3, pull the thread, and pull the thread with a straight bobbin. You won't snap so many threads. No, I've said that, I better snap the thread. Come through the hair, push it all back, get your tool. As you can see, we're right up to the eye. So get your tool and repeat this pushing process. Push it all back. There you go. You can see how much I've pushed that hair back. You've got to make sure it's nice and dense because it will make it float nicer. I'm just going to come down with the thread and I'm going to come back up. Just sort of tidying up a little bit. And then we're just going to do the same thing again. Take a little bit of hair. Trim from the hide. Take out all the horrible bits. And then stack. This could well be the last stack. Come around 1, 2, pull, and through the hair. Nice and tight. Get your pusher. Whoopsie. Brush it all back. And come round. Now, these flies, as I've said, do look an absolute state when you're tying them. I'll push this all back. Get one more stack in there. But there's a lot of trimming to do with these flies. So we don't want much on this last stack. And this last stack I'm going to spin again. So I'm going to allow this last stack to spin. When I first started tying these carp flies, I spun every stack of deer hair. But actually, I don't think you need to. I genuinely think you can just stack the first and last, spin the first and last stacks. So same as before, I've come around 3 times. Oh dear, I've let go of the hair and I've come through. Now, push it all back, nice and tight. Just get all the hair out of the way. Come around with your thread. Whoops, move the hook and the vise a little bit. Come around with your thread. And then we're gonna whip finish. And as you can see, it looks an absolute mess. So, just gonna put a nice blob of varnish on there. Oops, a little bit in the eye there. We're gonna clear that now. Going to come around with a whip finish, hold the hair out of the way, 1, 2, 3, do a few turns on that, tighten it up, whoops, tighten it up. I'm just going to double check that we're still, oh no we're not, yeah I thought I'd moved it, whoopsie daisy. We're just going to bring this back into focus a little bit. Sorry about that. Both hands Mussellwhite strikes again. Nice. Right. So, now's the trimming starts. Now normally I will take this out of the vise to trim it. And traditionally, or a lot of the time I should probably say, people do this with a razor blade. But I do it with just a curved pair of nail scissors. So, I'm going to turn the fly upside down and I'm going to trim just going to trim the bottom edge. Let it all come down. Like I said, the trimming probably takes up most of the time. And then I'll normally, like I said, I normally do this out of the vise, push my fingers up and I'll come up with curved scissors and I'll follow the curve of my thumb. You probably can't see this properly, but so I'm just going to take this out the vise because it's a lot easier to do out the vise. So just bear with me a moment whilst I trim the rest of this up. Now don't be too fussy, by the way, when you trim these flies. Just work your way round, holding it there. You can probably pop it back in the vise now I've done that bit. The trimming is what takes the time. Just click that up, lovely job. The trimming is what takes the time. So, like I've said before, just be fussy. Be fussy with the trimming. And I always err on the side of a little bit big, if you know what I mean. The reason being, when you're fishing, whoops-a-daisy, when you're fishing, you can always trim it smaller. But as we've said in the past, you can't stick any more back on. So just come round, be a little bit fussy. This is a lot harder to do in the vise, I must admit. But obviously if I do it in my hands anymore, you're not going to see what I've done. Just come underneath, make sure your eye is clear. There we go. And there we go. You can finite the trimming. You know, you can get a finite finish on the trimming and that. But at the moment, that will do. I would leave that like that and stick that in my box. And if I need to trim it anymore when I'm out on the bank, then that's what I'll do. But there it is. That is the dog biscuit fly. As you can see, it's not too difficult to tie, but it is messy to tie. I normally trim these outside actually, but have a go at this one because it's not too difficult to tie and it catches loads of carp. So anyway, if you like the video, please press the like button and please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Nice.